Hey everyone, Jason from GTG Home Solutions, and I'm here on spring break with my beautiful assistant slash daughter, Natalie. Say hello.
Hi everyone.
And so I wanted to take this opportunity while I'm hanging out with her on spring break to teach her a little bit more about real estate investing. She's heard me talk about it plenty of times, but I wanted to make a video to where we kind of teach it at the first grade level so that anyone can understand it. So all of this artwork is brought to you by yours truly over here, Natalie. So first thing, it says our story, right? So we are real estate investors, and what do we do?
We help people get their houses nice and beautiful.
That's right. So we're able to help people in a variety of situations. First one here, we have this house, and what's the issue with this one?
There's a picture of an ugly house, and the people are saying, my house needs work. No problem. I can help you with that.
Yeah. So a lot of times the type of people we're helping are people that have a house that needs a lot of work. Maybe it's an elderly couple or something, and they just, they can't keep up with the house anymore, or maybe someone inherited a property, or simply it could just be a tired landlord and is just tired of always working on the house and just wants to sell. Whatever the situation is, maybe needs a lot of work, so they're going to have a hard time selling on the market, right? Because people want to buy nice homes. Most people don't want to buy fixer-uppers. So with those people, we are able to help them by typically closing very quickly for all cash. But if we're going to close quickly and for all cash, what do we need? Do you remember? How do we make it work? We need a discount. She's still learning. So a lot of times we will need a discount if you want it to close very quickly and if it needs a lot of work. Now that doesn't mean we can't make out some other situations, and I'll explain those here in a minute, to where even if it does need a lot of work, we may still be able to give you a better price for it. But stick around for a second and I'll explain that. So for the people that need, the house needs a lot of work, this picture
is showing a picture of us at the closing table, and it's the person There's a person walking away with a lot of money saying, yay! And there's my dad saying, happy to help.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that if we're able to close quickly, it's all cash. And I mean, when I say all cash, I don't mean literally we're gonna bring a suitcase full of money. That'll actually make it take a lot longer, so you have to check all the bills. But it means there's no bank financing or anything like that, so we don't have to rely on the banks to approve everything, because they usually require quite a bit of things to be right with the house. Okay, so one of the cool things is that this doesn't just help you, it helps the economy and helps a lot of other people. And in this picture, Natalie's kind of showing that.
So in this picture, they show the people, which used to be my dad's job, and the guy's taking a broom and he's taking up the spider webs and the flies coming down, dying. And there's an equal sign, and there's a hammer inside of that circle, which means that the house is getting fixed and getting more beautiful.
So that's the cool thing, is that, this creates a lot of jobs for a lot of people. The workers that are working on the houses, obviously for our company, it helps out the realtors when they go to sell the house, the closing attorney or the title attorneys, people that work at Lowe's and Home Depot, and people that make all the tools and all that sorts of stuff. So this keeps the economy moving. It helps out your former neighbors, because now they're able to, their house maintains its value. So, if it's a nice neighborhood, but your house has gotten a little run down, this is how we're going to keep the neighborhood up, But that's not the only type of people we can help. Sometimes it is a nice house in a nice neighborhood. And Natalie, can you explain this a little bit?
So here's the pretty house, and there's a guy saying, I have a house, but I can't sell it. No problemo, says my dad. And the guy's thinking, he always seems excited to help people.
Yeah.
That's kind of his
And she drew these all by herself. I just kind of told her what I was kind of looking for, and she came up with all the sayings and everything. But Yeah, we are able to help people that have a nice home, a nice neighborhood, or maybe it's a decent home, maybe it's a little dated. You know, it's not a bad home, it doesn't need a ton of work, but maybe it's a little dated, and that person just can't afford or doesn't want to fix it up and, you know, put in new appliances and, you know, and cabinets, kitchen cabinets, upgrade the kitchen, that sort of thing. So, or maybe it's someone who doesn't have a lot of equity. As a military veteran myself, we constantly found ourselves in the situation we would move every few years, we'd buy a house, and then, you know, a few years later, we don't have a whole lot of equity, especially with nothing down with VA loans. So it was difficult for us to figure out what to do. And that's kind of how I fell in love with real estate investing, is figuring out how to turn the obstacle into the solution. So for those people, a lot of times what we're able to provide them are few ways in which we can provide them full value for their house. Do you remember what it's called? Lease to sell. Yeah. So there's a few different ways it can be split, and we're never really pushing anything on you. We're going to provide you with multiple options to see what works for you. But a lease to sell is basically we will lease it from you, you know, for your mortgage price, you know, including insurance and all that stuff, taxes and such. Or if you own it free and clear, we can lease it for you for whatever you set. And then we're subleasing it with the option to buy to someone else. Usually that's you know, a family that needs credit repair, or maybe they're a business owner and they have good credit, but their business is not showing much of a profit on paper, because business owners tend to write everything off. So we got to work with them and get it to where they can buy the house. But in doing so, they're able to buy it for that higher price, because their thing is like they didn't think they could buy a home. So we're able to help them as well. So in doing this, you're able to get the full price. So let's say the house is worth $200,000 today, right? But you owe $190. Do you know how much that is? How much equity do they have? 200 minus 190 is 10. She's still getting there. She's working on a little bit smaller numbers, but $10,000 in equity. So now if they were to sell through a realtor, they would not only lose all of that equity, it would all go to commissions, plus they would have to come out of pocket some. And that's if they got $200,000 for the home. But if they sell through us, there's no commissions or anything like that. We're saying, hey, we will buy it from you for $200,000, but we're gonna need a little bit of flexibility in the timeline, but we're gonna go ahead and pay your mortgage that whole time. So you don't have to worry about that financial burden. But when we do get the tenant buyer to close, then you're gonna get that full, you know, equity spread, whatever that may be, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, or even if you have a lot of equity and you just don't want to sell through a realtor, you want to get your full price. This is one way you can do it. Especially now in 2019, as we head into more of a buyer's market, this is good for a lot of people because houses aren't selling as quickly. So this can help out a lot of people to at least relieve that financial burden. But, and I know this is going over your head a little bit, what if you know, you want to buy another home? Well, your debt to income ratio is balanced here because we're leasing it from you, so you still can't go buy another home. But if you need the cash out, that's where we may need a discount, but we're always going to try to provide some sort of solution to you. So it's not cookie cutter. We're going to tell you, hey, this is, we have a few different options. And even the things I'm going to cover, we can still go deeper, you know, during a phone consultation or a house visit to where we can explain things a little bit more in detail. But I'm keeping this at the first grade level, right? Okay, so here is her picture of us helping the tenant buyer. So you have the nice home and they want to move into it. So that's a family there with the sweet hairdo, Elvis and his family there, moving into the nice home. And then when they do go to close on it, it could be a year down the road, it could be 2 years down the road. You're gonna get that full price for your home. And those are just some of the options out there. We also have a lot of other creative solutions. In fact, I will do a deal in which I don't make a profit out of it, in which I'm just kind of helping someone. I did that the other day. I just gave the guy some ideas, and he'd been in the mortgage business for 25 years and wasn't sure what he was gonna do with a house that he had a big balloon coming up, which means a giant balloon payment coming up. And I gave him some creative solutions, and I didn't make anything on it. But I'll still do that for anybody. Obviously, you know, if we're putting together the deal structure and we're doing the work, then yes, we are gonna make a profit out of it. But we'll at least provide you solutions, and you can decide where to go from there. So lastly, the most beautiful part of the artwork, Natalie, show them what you got for them.
if you want my autograph, you can have it right here. Anyone, just take it. Just take it, anyone.
So hopefully this 10-minute video kind of broke it down in simple terms for you so that you can understand a little bit more about real estate investing. In future videos, I will definitely go into a lot more detail so you can understand it a little bit above the first grade level. But thanks everyone for joining us, and signing off. Say bye.
Bye.